Hey there, it is March 31st, 2016, and I just got back from the Apple Store to pick up my brand new iPad Pro. I also picked up a pencil, so I'll be doing a quick unboxing for you guys today. I picked up the iPad Pro 9.7 inch. It's the 128 gigabyte model in silver without any cellular data, so it is just Wi-Fi. I also picked up just the standard $99 pencil, so I'm really excited. I upgraded from an iPad Air 2. And probably the biggest reason I made the upgrade is for the pencil support. So as a college student, I really rely on handwritten notes, and there's been many studies that show that handwriting notes helps you with learning and cognition and things like that too. So I've been really excited. I wasn't sure if I was ready to ever get the 12.9 inch iPad because it's a little bit big. I feel like there'd be too much overlap with my 15 inch Retina MacBook Pro. So I decided to wait for them to come out with a 9.7 inch. So this is the 128 gigabyte model. If they made a 64, I would have gotten it, but 32 at this point, especially for the iPad being a big media consumption device for me, just seemed way too small. So let me open it up. Take off the shrink wrap. And so I went to the Apple Store today. There wasn't a line or anything. I was planning to pre-order, but I realized that I would be in class all day, so I decided to go into the stores. You couldn't pre-order for pickup, which was a little bit weird, but there was no issues with inventory. Here's the iPad itself. I'm going to move it to the side for just a second. You can notice that in the box there is a little camera divot because this iPad has a camera bulge, a slight camera bulge, just like the iPhones at this point. They actually changed up their packaging too. If you can tell by the plastic that's wrapped around both the iPad and this power brick, it's more matte, so hopefully that's a little bit more environmentally safe or better for the environment. Here we have the Design by Apple in California brochure. Once again, it's a little bit different too. They usually have a card style where you open it, but I think on this one actually there's like a little finger thing here, and then you can open it this way. And here you just have some basic information, and let's hope for, yes, there are stickers. So I'll pack that back up. I don't think I really need the quick start guide. And inside here you have the standard lightning cable, 12-watt power brick. So let me move this out of the way. Here is the iPad. There is some wrap around it, and you can tell it's a little bit different than Apple's previous packaging. It's more matte. It's almost similar if you've ever seen the HTC One or their M7, their M8 packaging. It has this texture to it, which is actually pretty nice. So I'll peel it off. Here it is. Throw that out of the way. So here is the iPad Pro 9.7. From the front, it's actually really hard to tell that it's a different iPad from the iPad Air 2. They have nearly the same dimensions. Probably the easiest thing to recognize is an iPad Pro 9.7 versus an iPad Air 2 is first this camera bump here. So it's very slight. It's very similar to the iPhone 6. And from reading reviews, they said that if you put the iPad on a flat surface, there is no wobbling, and that is true. I think this iPad is large enough where it doesn't have that wobble you might see on the iPhone 6S. The other major difference is on the bottom here, you do have this little port, the Smart Connector, and this is if you wanted to use either Apple's direct keyboard or also the Logic model. I did not pick one up because I already had a Bluetooth keyboard, but the great thing about using this type of port, it does not rely on any battery, so you don't have to worry about charging your keyboard. One last big difference in terms of hardware is the speakers. So instead of having two speakers, there are 4 speakers on the iPad, so you have 2 here and then 2 on the bottom. Aside from that, it just looks like a very standard iPad. Same screen. It's still the first generation Touch ID. The only device right now that has the second generation is the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus. But I'll boot this right now. Hopefully there's some power to it. And while I do that, let me just open up the pencil too. So that's actually probably the other big thing about the iPad Pro is the pencil support. Aside from their True Tone display and the extra power that it may have, pencil support is really big. I'm not an artist myself. I'll probably be relying on this for taking just a lot of notes, maybe draw some sketches, some mock-ups and UIs and stuff like that too. But I'm just really excited to be able to kind of use this iPad as a replacement for the traditional notebook in my class. So how do we open this box? Oh, here we go, it slides out. There's a little tab on the side. You pull that. Designed by Apple in California. There's a little thumb tab. So inside here, there are probably some documentation. There's an extra nib, so just in case you wear it out. There's also this extension, so since you charge your pencil directly into the iPad, you can use this little accessory to use a lightning cable to charge it directly. Since it's both male to male, you can have a little adapter. Down here, some documentation, some warranty information. Let me just see real quick what this says. It's just talking about pairing, and yeah, it pretty much says to just take off the cap for charging and to plug it into the iPad. And then let's take this out, and here is the pencil. So this isn't my first time holding an Apple Pencil. I've held some in the store and also a friend's, but this will be mine. It has really great weight to it. It feels really nice. Also, if you take off the cap, here is the lightning port, or the lightning port to charge it. So you plug this in directly. And there's a little magnet that keeps the cap snapped on. So I'm actually just finishing setup. I'm setting up my iPad as a new iPad. I'm actually also putting it into my old iPad Air 2 case temporarily. The cutouts aren't perfect, especially since it covers the top speaker, but for right now it's pretty good. And one major thing is when you're setting up the new iPad Pro, it asks you about the True Tone display. So there are sensors embedded into the screen that can detect the lighting situation in your ambient surroundings, and it changes it to reflect it better. So it's almost closer to what paper is like. So right now it's on. I'm not sure if you can tell if I can hit this button to see without. If I hold it, it's a lot bluer, which is pretty cool. And I'll hit get started. So that's pretty much it. I'm setting this as a brand new iPad. I'll also be pairing my pencil. But it looks pretty similar. It's running iOS 9.3, still the standard iPad. I'm excited to try the camera as well, since it has improved hardware and everything too. But that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. Hopefully you're enjoying your new iPad if you did buy one today as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. You can find me on Twitter at CandicePoo. I'm also a co-host of a technology podcast, so if you want to hear more about my impressions about the iPad and iOS and technology in general, please subscribe to Tic Tac Talk. I'll put a link down below. And have a good day, guys. Bye.